Hi everyone, this is Loretta again, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some basic driving terms and some basic horse terms. Behind me, right there, is Lady for an introduction. So an aid, when someone talks about an aid in driving, they're talking about the driver's voice and lines as in they're used as cues. So on aids refers to when the horse is being on the bit and can be controlled perfectly and responds instantly to cues and commands. Animated, when they're talking and driving, means when the horse is moving with energy and greater action. When they talk about a balk, it is when a horse refuses to move onward. I myself have some Buddy Sour horses, so when I talk about barn or Buddy Sour horses, I'm talking about when a horse refuses to leave a fellow horse, barn, or pen, or when they do leave the fellow horse, they're constantly calling out, or they're acting up when they're calling out to the other horses. Behind the bit is a term most often used to describe a horse who avoids bit pressure by tucking his chin in excessively. So a lot of English-styled horses will have a tucked-in chin, but behind the bit is when they tuck it in excessively to almost where it's touching their chest. A bit is the mouthpiece on a bridle. They can be plastic or metal depending on the style of the bit. The blinders can also be called blinkers or winkers depending on who's talking. I prefer blinders. They're protrusions from the harness that block the horse's side and back view to help them focus on what is ahead. They are on the bridle. They kind of go like this. When we talk about body language, we talk about the way that the driver or handler holds himself or herself and the way that they're conveying attitude and intent. We can also be talking about the way that a horse holds him or herself and the way that a horse can be conveying their attitude and intent. So when a horse bolts, it's when they suddenly run away or it is hard to stop them, or it can be both. A breast collar or breastplate, they can be called both in driving, is a strap that goes across the shoulders and connects to a single tree or eveners at the cart or wagon. Breeching, and the best way to remember this harness part is that you have your own breeches on. This is part of the harness that goes around their hindquarters between their hocks and the top of their tailbone. Right in the middle is where you want it. I have some videos where I show harness fitting with that piece of harness specifically. Brogue is a term often used to refer to a horse that is trained and reliable. The Brabant is a strap that goes across the forehead of the horse. I know I'm going over a lot of terms right now, but I'm almost about halfway through the terms I selected for today's video. We're going to have a few other videos, and then we are working on the rough draft of our miniature horse Hitchin' a Dream training books, and that will have a lot of basic driving terms and a lot of basic horse terms in it that you can look at too. The cadence is the rhythm of the horse's hoof beats as the horse moves. A canter is a 3-beat gait also known as a collected gallop. So when someone talks about a carriage head, it is when a horse carries its head high and with intent. You'll often see it in draft horses, how they like their heads carried high. A cart is a 2-wheeled vehicle pulled by a horse. You'll see that in a lot of my training videos. And then a wagon is a 4-wheeled vehicle pulled by a horse or team of horses. I unfortunately don't have a wagon of my own, but it is the future dream. A closed bridle, sometimes often referred to as a driving bridle, is the bridle with the blinders on. A collar is an oval-shaped piece of harness that goes around a horse's neck and rests on their shoulders. The horses are able to lean their weight into it and pull weight with it. It does help distribute the weight better throughout their entire body compared to a breast collar. So if you have a horse that is pulling a lot of weight, I would recommend a collar versus a breast collar. The croup is the highest point of the rump, and the crouper, which is the best way to remember those two terms often go together. It's the piece of the harness that runs from the saddle of the harness to under the dock of the tail. Driving itself is when you're controlling a horse by driving lines in your voice as the horse pulls you around in a cart, a buggy, or a wagon, or a sleigh even if you have a sleigh. Ground driving can also be called line driving or driving in long reins or lines. It is where you are behind the horse and controlling the horse with a pair of long lines in your voice. One of my biggest pet peeves is when someone is driving a horse and they call them reins. When you're driving a horse and you have a long set, those are lines. Lines are for driving and reins are for riding. Thank you for watching the video today. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions and to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to let me know if you would like to see or hear about anything else. Thank you.